Okay, so I'm going to do the weekly rundown on the charts, how we finished off, where we are in the structures currently, and is there any good buying and selling opportunity windows? Is there any nooks and crannies that we could place orders in next week? So I'm beginning to notice as I babble on, and the reason why I have these videos is just so that I can babble on and go, you know what? I think I'm right about that. Because I would have never thought to explain it to somebody. Another thing is, you should be able to explain your trading system to somebody very easily. And I can do that. And so I was watching this Apari guy, and I noticed that him and I had the same trading style, even though he's Amish. Yeah, we're just getting in, we're scaling in and out. We're just scaling in and out. And his execution is like he's effortless for him. So, but you also can't make it too easy. But if you know when you're scalping, it's a different story than if you're swinging. And if you're going to hold a small position that's worth the same amount of money. Okay, so, you know, it's very, it's a style issue, I suppose. I mean, he reminds me of some bluegrass guy or something. You know, these bluegrass people are pretty mellow. I mean, you could go down south, I'm sure, and get hammered on moonshine and play halfway decent banjo, and people would be like, yeah, you're invited all day long. Now, if you go to New York and you play electric guitar in the bar, people will be like, dude, you are like so got to go back to school. And so the same thing I noticed in Forex too. People are the whole spectrum's there. So all the people that are following, I don't really have a problem with the people that follow no-nonsense Forex because we've all been there, right? We remember when we had puppy love or something. We fell in love with an indicator. This is like the coolest thing ever. Like, this thing's nailing it. But I don't know how you grow from that. I mean, I don't know how you're taking signals that you're like, yeah, you know what? 15 minutes a day. I'm really into this. I mean, you're going to make more money if you can go in and out every 4 hours or every 12 hours, right? Because the guy that's holding is experiencing 40 pips of slam. So in a standard lot, it's $400 of slammage on his $800 target. So somebody asked me in the stream, you were up 30%. Why did you get out? Well, you're not supposed, there's all sorts of counter trend, counter rules, you know, like here's the exception that proves the rule. So on that one, it's going to be, well, never trade your equity. Just trade the structure of the market. You know, that's your target. Yeah, it's gonna give the market some room. Okay, I don't care. At some point, holding one big fat position now, some people are peeling off half of it. Let's wait. You're already 100% better. Getting in on one single, taking off half, letting the other thing float around, you're already ahead of the game because if you get in too heavy on the initial entry, you're getting killed. So what's the answer? Is to scale in on small positions. You trade 10Ks and you just go in and out, in and out. Well, I'm up a little. Look at that. At the end of the day, you're up. You're not really, you know you're in. And if you have a limit, you're only going to trade 100K on 10 tickets. You got a lot more flexibility to dance with the market. You don't have to be like, no, it's going there, man. It's all, I'm using Fibonacci. Get the fuck out of here. The other problem with Fibonacci is locks you into these targets that are just ridiculous, not based on any kind of supply and demand, any kind of rational prices. You got to be kidding. Like, did somebody really place a buy stop today on the high of the day going, you know what? I mean, this is going up. The high of the week. Like, who put a confirmation buy order here? Who is that guy? Is that the only guy? Are we only trading against one goober? I still don't get this argument people make about the market. They're projecting their own position that they would take into it. Goober entries, goober stops. I mean, the guy that's running the trailing stop on this wick thinking, ain't nobody going to touch that stop. Also, the Apari guy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, said, yeah, he's got an ass chart. Well, no shit. He figured that out, right? He describes exactly what's going on in all of these hot spots. Look at this low volatility 4-hour chart. I still haven't I'm going to have to make a dedicated robot instruction video if anybody wants to build a robot. So my idea is a robot scanning for a 10 point, anything 10.8 pips to 9.6 calls up a script, okay? And also, the robot that's overlapping that is down looking for a smaller one. It brings this bot in. So there's more bots that cling on to small bars because we do have a high risk, like a Bill Williams entry, where we put a buy stop, and this is going to be pure goober. You put a buy stop here, and you put a sell stop here. It's looking for a bar that's X. Or it gets trapped on this, right? It gets trapped, but it's got a big trendy kind of, there's a lot of room on that trade. And it gets stopped out of the other legs, say here. Or it double fills, let's say. All of that's going on at the same time. Also, don't forget, the trusty limit bot is dropping limits in front of the market all day long, sniffing for some kind of baby black swan. Then we have our hand-placed, good old-fashioned manual trading. We're going to place buy limits here, and we're just going to strew them all the way down. And we're going to look for the last guys. Where does Hector and Willie have their stops? Right here. We're going to buy all these next week. I'm just saying, if you had to trade this thing and find good places to get in, now they may not come down there and fill, right? It's going to be a heartbreaker. But if you drop a fucking, dude, there's 10Ks loaded on those scripts. If you put the 100 pip stop in, you just come in here and drop them, and they just come flying in. Boom, 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 boom. You layer them up. It's got a big master stop down here. And that stop's going to ride along with how the bank fills. Now, you could have just placed the sell limit at the top here and gone the opposite way on confirmation breakout goobers here. I don't know why people can't see that trade. I mean, people do see it. But the people that are like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? Why aren't I selling up here? Well, it's just not, I don't see a pin bar yet. Dude, it just pinned. You missed the trade. So, you're afraid to put an order down here? Are you serious? I knew this guy, swear to God. We met this guy on Skype, and this guy that was coaching him said to me, and I hate when people do this, they go, dude, he's got a problem. I can't tell you what it is. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And what I think it was, maybe the guy was autistic or some shit. So what? I asked him, hey, you have a problem putting a buy limit down here tonight on the yen? And he goes, no. Now, you ask most traders that, they go, well, am I allowed to look at the fib tool? This guy, I don't think this guy would, if he got run over by a fib tool, it would never occur to him. And then people are trying to explain their trade plan to him. It's so cute. They're like, well, here's what you do. You're going to get a 5-period moving average. Okay, you got that? You got a 13. When they cross over, you should hear these guys explain it to each other. And you're like, this is like, yeah, first you got to find a girl. Okay, well, not at the morgue. No, got to find a live one. Okay, above 18 years old. Make sure you get a blood test, really a girl. God damn, right? And then come to find, by my horrification, is that, you mean to tell me if I just run a bunch of fucking buy limits down here and just try to snare something on pullback that I could make money? Well, that's right, son. You'd be underwater on the first 2 tickets, but you know what? You're going to count on the range factor. And then, of course, if you don't have that, you're going to count on the fucking stupid ass breakout systems, which do work. I'm so sorry. They work. Look at this fucking entry here. How did that not make money? Small bar, non-directional entry, all the way down to here. Small bar, non-directional, all the way to here. As soon as the bars get big, you ain't fucking trading breakouts on 22 pip bars. I hope you're not. Hope you didn't join the no-nonsense break. What, put a bar stop here? And how is this guy not just teaching auction? If he wants to help anybody, to just teach reality. Why take people down the indicator highway? I mean, this is like saying, dude, you just got to find the right clothes, and you get all these outfits for these girls, and then you go find the girls. Oh, sure, that'd work. What sizes do I buy? Just buy a bunch. You know how many indicators there are? What the fucking harebrained shit is this? Another thing is, why don't people just go, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not good at trading. Go away. Right? But the 82,000 people for no nonsense, because this is like saying fat free. People are so goobered out. They're like, dude, fat free yogurt? Fucking give me yeah, the sugar will knock you off because there's no fat, so we had to make it up in sugar. Well, those are the indicators. A lot of sugar on that chart. Not many charts do look ugly, but I couldn't think of a better way to... I will put a link to the indicator here, which is just bar. If you go to the link, I should put it in every video, but it's just open, high, low, close. And I just edited the code so that how many pixels wide, you kind of dig through the code a little bit. You got a little bit of a hack, right? You can't be NinjaTrader. Probably, I don't know if you're allowed to hack into that and create a big fat bar. But when I built my fat bar, which is kind of like, I look at it as each bar is a structure, like a rooftop and a basement. You buy the basement, you sell the rooftop. So whatever kind of metaphor you need, maybe it's going to be sexual. It gets fucked this way, it gets fucked that way, you ride the fuck. I mean, whatever it takes for you. I saw the Ikamushu guy, Ikamushu explained by No Nonsense Forex guy. Oh my God. So I bet he's going to hit everything. Point and figure is probably coming next. I think he did Ranco, but he's got a career based in just, I don't know if he gets any, he just gets off on torturing people, but no nonsense, fat free. Anyways, this is my weekly wrap up. Breakout systems, selling unfair value, buying unfair value. There's a million terms for the price that's above this. Anything above here was unfair for how many pips, though? How many pips of unfairness? It's like this Vox company, I guess, that's going after all these YouTubers. Wow, you talk about people that are just completely inept as far as like, I don't know. But they say they're making money from anger because people love to comment and go, fuck you. So I was on Facebook again. And my friends are just off the fucking rails, dude. I mean, maybe they're just not old enough to be as mellow and as I am. You think I'm pissed off. I mean, I think I'm mellow. These people are like throwing up all this fucking bait for people to, dude, like, okay, I got that you're alive. Okay, it's your sandwich. I see you ate that sandwich for lunch. And I got that you got this and that. And then and I got this friend on here. She's so cute. She's got a picture from like 20 fucking years ago. I'm like, babe, you so don't look like that. You wished you looked like that. But she's my friend, and she's completely out of her fucking mind. She's one of these equality. Yeah, except for me. Unbelievable. Facebook, dude, I'd rather look at the market go against me. I'd rather watch a trade go against me than log on to Facebook. What does that say? I'd rather be underwater in a swing trade than go look at my Facebook page. I'm just saying, it's just fucking utterly retarded. Here we never got our fill down here. I'm just very disappointed. I did place some orders in here. Actually, I ran a bunch of shit on this account. I had this account up to $3,000. But I'm heavily in a lot of margin right now, so actually I'm very heavily in holding short the yen, I suppose. But, and of course it's not equal across every pair. Unfortunately, it's not this kind of panoramic utopian where you just go one direction on a currency and it's able to assault all the other currencies equally, which is a big fallacy, a big proof of non-correlation goes to correlation, you know. But let's just say we marked off. Okay, so I still want to find somebody that I could explain this to in the flesh and see how they respond. But you'd have to be in front of 10 people or something. Because a lot of people would just be like, I gotta go. I think my wife's making cookies. But you know, seriously, if you cannot see this low, and of course, don't forget we did not go lower than that. Like if you were hoping for this entry down here, you did not get filled. Now, I have done this where I put like orders in here and I'm like, really? Okay, so we're not going to plunge down there. And this is why you have to resort to things like, well, maybe I just got to keep buying here every time we get here. I cannot be that fucking cheap. And if you really were kind of had some deep pockets, as soon as this market spiked up here, what I would do is I'd say, you know what? This is a Sunday night. As soon as we come into Sunday night, I'm like, I ain't chasing it up here. Look at the fucking sellers. Just tag this. And this is another wedge that didn't get filled. I'm noticing this wedge now that I'm explaining it. But this is a high compression supply zone. I call that. High compression supply zone. That's in my module number 5 of the mentorship of selling new highs. But we just nicked it. We just nicked that wick. And then, of course, here we finally come back to that window. And we feed on that a few times. Now, selling up there was as profitable as buying the plunge. After this rally on Sunday night, I'm just going to use my good old drawing tool. So after this rally on Sunday night, you could have come in with limits streamed down. Just stream them down, and you would have got crushed maybe on these. If you have not a wide enough stop, if you're not counting on the market coming back to here, which it did, and you would have been out of that trade from a completely, you're underwater here, and it comes up, and maybe you cash out into this floor, right? A lot of people did, as you can see. Why does the market pull off of this price? Because that was the floor from here, last known floor, right? So it pulls off, and then it's coming back to the, everybody has buy limits here too, and based on a time pivot. But don't forget the people that are running trailing limits. The stop hunters, so to speak, have their limits here. The pivot people have limits here because of this is the last known top in time. And the really aggressive people, when the market's here, they'd probably start putting the buy limits on the top of that wick. And at the market order people, at the end of 4 hours, there are people that literally buy at the end of 4 hours if it's down, especially if it's down in the structure. So if you babysat that entry, if you were there for the update of the 4-hour chart, you could confidently pull this trigger here against the market. Market's down, you're buying. Even this, you buy because it's down, you buy because it's down, you buy because it's down, and you have a limit sitting at that, and maybe you do have a limit pack in here, but you have limits. You got to prepare for a 30 pip window entry on this currency, and you got to load up. You got to have stuff that's going to take small amounts off the table so you can pad the account. If it goes deeper, you need something for the dead cat bounce. You got to make at least 30% maybe on the dead cat bounce, or 50%. Right? This is only a 30 pip window, 40 pip window underneath the round number here. So this, anytime it's below here, you could have just gobbled this shit up and dumped it above 30 pips above the round and just did a pump and dump. There's so many ways you could have just traded this range here. I mean, of course, you only got to show up every 4 hours and say, well, you know what? They didn't fill my limit. I had limits down here, and it looks like we're just not making it down there. I'm just going to buy. I have my backup plan is I buy at the market as it's down near structure. The other one would be the defensive goober stop entry. And that looks like this, where you're going to just run trailing buy stops and do a cancel and replace every 4 hours. This is confirmation stop entry. Cancel, replace, right? Or you leave them there. Let them stack up, you know. And hopefully you have unique exits on this. Not just one ticket. Like you got to have like 30K stacked up there. And it's going to take 5, 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Every pip is taking something off the table. So you write a script that drops a 10K with 2 pips apart exits. And then you have another one that's going to be a different button for a whole different thing. I'm going to have that. You don't have to have that. You could just buy 3 tickets. You could just buy you could imagine you have buy stops trailing and you're buying at the market that's coming down. And you got buy limits sitting in this deep vacuum. This is the deepest vacuum on that chart. Now it's a completely different view than this. Like this, you're thinking, holy shit, like, yeah, look at this psycho shit. You mean to tell me I'm just going to put buy limits here and I'll actually make money? I'll make 10 pips on this ticket if I can survive that plunge. That's nuts. So all I have to do is wait for a vacuum to form, put sell limits in it, and put one on the rooftop here. There's an 8-hour rooftop there. You got filled. Says right here on the bid chart. Right? Are you selling this new high? Are you going to put a sell limit here? Are you going to put a sell limit here? That's not a bad trade. Who's putting sell limits in front of the market? I get no confirmation. I'm waiting for it to close down. And this is no nonsense Forex logic. Closes down, I sell. Closes down, I sell. No wonder the guy needs indicators. He's getting such a shit entry. No wonder he has to undertrade it, because it's a fucking retarded idea. Plus, it's a one-trick pony, single ticket, fucking 2% of your account dump shit. You can't fucking trade like that. You can, right? But this is like, yeah, at the age of 10, you're picking out your wife's clothes that you're going to marry. She's going to be 24 years old, and she's on magazine covers, and she's inaccessible to you. I mean, you can't have it all. I mean, you're either going to be babysitting these things, or you're going to put the pennies in and just go, yeah, okay, well, I put a buy limit here. They didn't fill me. Yeah, okay, you didn't lose any money. Don't forget that factor. Jesus Christ. Talk about this is like the best trading system. It's to place pendings, buy at the market, sell at the market, and occasionally, yeah, okay, put the torturous confirmation entry in. Put the goober entry in. Because if you bracket the thing at low volatility points, yeah, obviously. Go to the 4-hour British pound, which is a lot more volatile. Can you find a small bar on here? Now, this is a different story. This is not. Okay, here's the one thing that there's certain robots that would step up to the plate on this bar is under 10 pips on the 4-hour chart. Are you kidding me? Not to mention the trailing buy stop bots that have a wide stop, and as they come in with it, okay, there's a specific bot that would see this. And maybe it's going to be just a buy stop, just a buy stop, and just a buy stop. And this is a smaller bar, so there's a sell stop on this one, but there is no, I don't know what would make the robot put a buy stop on those, so I don't like that idea. It just puts a buy stop here and a sell stop here. It just doesn't get filled in the sell stop. It's better to do breakouts non-directionally. Because, see, this low volatility breakout, if you've got a 10 pip scalp built into the script, it's going to pay. It actually makes money in both directions. Or at least it gets flattened out. And if it has a wider take profits built into the algorithm, built into these trade plans of like, for instance, maybe you're trapped here. I'm talking about a 40K laid in there, 20K on each side, 20K above, 20K below, unique stops, unique robots step up to the plate and place pendings here. So maybe you took 20 pips off. If you got filled here, you made your 20. And then if you get out every 2 pips, you made 24 pips. But a human can see this, and he's going to buy here on a limit. At least I can see that. And here he's going to put a limit in, and he's not going to get filled. Right? So you have to be willing to buy from here to here now. Because you can't always get what you want price-wise. You're just never going to get the perfect fill. You can Gartley the fuck out of it. You could fib this thing till fucking the end of the world. Ain't going to give you... You've got to get in a... I'm talking to myself now. Got to get in a window. There's no fucking way you're going to nail it. Now, you could be pulling the trigger at the market, too. As this is coming down, you're like, holy shit. You realize you didn't put enough limits here. You see this happen, now you have to buy at the market. Or you could just place buy stops and just frantically hit buy stop. You're just going to get a slightly worse fill, but you'll get a confirmation fill because it could keep tanking too. If it's the only time I would use buy stops in that instance is when the news comes out, a 15-minute buy stop, which is as tight as you can run them. You can't run a 5-minute because the broker's like, dude, that's going to expire in like 4 minutes. So they don't want you clogging up all their servers with your spam trades. So if the market's dropping like a rock, buy stop, buy stop, buy stop. As soon as it comes roaring back some of those are scalps. Then, maybe you make some money off that dead cat bounce and you still got limits below. Now you have to gauge, well, do I have too many limits below? Do I have to start deleting those? It's a real balancing act. I mean, it's like normal inventory issues. You either got too much inventory, you got to put shit on sale, or you got, right? So that's what's going on. It's a real market. You got too much inventory. Somebody's like, well, we're done. We're getting out. People start to unload, goes the other way. And what's the difference? Just supply and demand. It's a crowded trade, or whatever you want to call it. You call it anything you fucking want. Overbought, oversold. Same thing. Unfair, fair. What do people, depth of market, level 2. I see all these tickets down here. Yeah, there's probably tickets all over the fucking place. It's what are you going to do about it? Do you have a time schedule for this shit? Or are you just going to place the pendings and live and die by the limits? Because sometimes you're not going to get that price. I'm sure that if you were hoping they were going to come down here and they didn't, that you were forced to buy. If you bought from here to here, see how being cheap just doesn't... I just put car parts in that I didn't need, but I just feel better. So if I put new parts in the car, at least I've eliminated that problem, right? So if I buy this window and I go, you know what? I'm going to buy tons down here, but I never get filled. But if I had, this could be amazing, right? What if I said, I'm going to get in aggressive. I'm going to buy everything below here. Like they're coming back here for sure. So I'm going to buy here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to buy lightly there. And here I'm going to buy heavy. Or martingale, whatever you want to call it. I'm all in. Now, as it comes in this window, inside of that window is the same story. At the bottom of this window, these are big tickets, right? These are medium-sized tickets. It picked up the medium for this. You didn't get filled on the bottom of that rack. So the hot spot is your friend. You're looking for you know where the hot spots are? I don't get this avoidance of reality. The no-nonsense guy's like, well, we took the noise out. Let's see, we got rid of the fucking bad trades. Okay, we're just about down to no trades. We got 28 pairs we're watching on the dailies. Looking for an entry. We built a holy grail. What is this guy think? He's asking the people to go build their own holy grail. Good luck, man. I'd love to see the results. I guess it probably would work, right? No fill down here, but look at this this is more complicated. This is harder work. You make more money doing it this way. This is more work though. Once again, no fills up here on this rally. And this is another market order. It's up 4 hours, hard sell to market. Okay, you're taking risk. And, but, if you put a stop here and they didn't hit it, then here's your break even, right? You're risking this to make that. At caveman trading, it's down buy, it's up sell. Just dumb shit. You could have that. It's up here, you sell. You're getting killed. But you were already getting killed because you started selling into that. You started selling this new high, right? But if you look left, you're like, oh, wait a minute. And this is where people get fucked up. They're like, should I just sell into that? Well, don't forget, this big fucking hole over here, like this needs to be satisfied. Yeah, this vacuum here got quenched. But guess what? It took to come all the way back to the top of the rim of the cup. You got to be aware of that. That's a high probability that this market may have to engulf that whole crush. And maybe that's the hard part because they're different sizes. See, this is a small void, big void. Same philosophy. We're going to fill that. So if you are selling into that, you got to realize that you may only make a few pips off of that. And here you got to be like, dude, we're still selling that? Yeah. Okay, and then it starts to make money. Where this, if you sold this top here, you made, you're break even on your risk. No fill there, but then if you play the other side of the game, are you going to do the same on the buy limit side? Yeah. This is a mini vac. So if you just look at, I should do the line chart on lows only so it'd really pop out. Here, let me just change this so you can see what I'm talking about, I guess. To make it explicit, if I make the settings so we only track the lows, we can see the bears stops real easy that way. So just switch this to moving average of 1 period on lows only. And you can change the color of the, or you can just, go back to normal wicks, then you really see it. And they got all this smoothed out stuff in there. Who'd want to ruin such a great picture? So here you can see the bear vacuum, so to speak. And it just kind of like really jumps out at you, as far as the trailing stop bots that do a cancel and replace, and then you finally get cashed out, right? Not a bad place. Also, it is a small wick. And you could even say this is a double top of the bottom. It's amazing how you can see patterns, like you could draw a trend line on lows and be, I'm selling right into that. Unstop, small wick. Here's a big wick, but then small wick, then down. Double bottom's obvious. Triple bottom didn't hold. This bottom became a top. You can see that very clearly. If you do the same thing with highs, it becomes very disturbing. And maybe if you just look at this for a while, you'll see, that it's like, okay, this is a big deal, right? And that's why it kind of like picks up quite a bit of buying interest and they're able to push it in here because this is that, it's this wedge thing. Like this, when they fill this wedge, it wicks up into it and then it comes ripping back. When we fill this void, we never make it to the top of that. It's 20 pips in and then bam. That's a trade. That is a complete legitimate trade, selling this new high for 20 pips. And you got to know when to get out. Here's a bottom becoming a bottom, literally. So this is bizarre because this is the inside top. You could do a trend line here. That becomes a bottom. It's just funny how you can, if you're into patterns, you just, oh, well, look at this. I'm not even using closing prices. I'm just using the inside top or the lower top becoming a literal bottom. And then you can see that vacuum in here. So I think these do matter, these little baby vacs where you can start running a little tighter entry. We could run 20 pip stops now because you have such a tight thing. And here you can really even get in heavier. And of course the limit entries are there. Double bottom becomes a double bottom, right? Because these are the lows. These are the lows. Low to low. See, once this low goes above this pivot in lows, one last pullback to the bottom becoming a bottom, and then it's off to the races. Let's see, we have a bottom becomes a bottom. Sellers don't come in enough. Liquidity's drying up. Uh-oh. Got to go roaring through that. And it goes in there. It cuts that just like it cut this hole out. I think it's so hard. I don't know how people are using these indicators to make money, honestly. Every time I look at this chart, I just think how it would just beat the shit out of most indicators. Of course, you're going to smooth the shit out of this. Okay, this is Forex. No nonsense. His entries. Let me just show you his entries. Oh, there's not any in this chart. I guess he would sell here. It's down. We get in. Wrote it down. I'm just saying that this selling up here, buying down here, for instance, getting in a breakout trade here, just adding to this short. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I don't know what to make of it all. So yeah, it's the weekly chart. It's up and down. Markets go nowhere. Here's some cells that got filled on. Scalped out of some of these. Never got filled on these buy limits. So that's not a disappointment. 28 pairs on the daily. Can you imagine? Who's got that much stuff? Oh, so that dollar CAD finally fell into this gaping hole. This is a classic supply and demand currency. I think this is the ultimate supply and demand currency, the Canadian dollar. Just because these countries only like a little bit of water separates them. And so you get this perfect kind of structures here. Breakout, pullback, confirmation, slam down. This was the gaping hole we filled. And then it came ripping back to the floor. People cashed out, and now it's a buy again. It's just so dumb. So this is the obvious buy window. I'd be buying that all next week for more bouncage. Is it really going anywhere? It's an uptrend. This is pullback, but look at that crush. Hopefully anybody that sold up here is still holding it short. And here's your perfect measured move. We've seen this a million fucking times. I'm surprised I don't do a 4-hour measured, a daily measured move entry. There you go. Classic. It's kind of oversold. I think I'll buy. Look at the weekly. Look at this pounding. Look at that. Look how many pips. Sell new highs. Buy new lows. You're out. You're flat. 200 pips. 250. And we don't do reversals. Sorry, buddy. We're trend traders. Can't step away from that goddamn platform, son. You're ruining our... Now I can see this is no nonsense entry territory. It's up, we buy. It's up, we buy. It's above the cloud, we buy. We buy. Okay, hopefully he's cashed out into this thing. They let that no nonsense guy win a little bit just to keep him on in the indicator pool. I got a new indicator. Should say it. Back tested it and everything. Really? Wow. Yeah, it's doing real good. I'm thinking about putting real money in the account. Be real good, wouldn't it? That's real good. It's real good what you done. What was it, Twilight Zone episode where the little Lost in Space kid is fucking wishing people into the cornfield and shit. It's real good that you made it snow. It's a good thing what you done. It's good that you started trading that robot you built. Poor Ryan Brown still... What happened to Ryan Brown? So I see he's doing videos again. He's so cute. He's got the headphones like he's trying to land a jet plane, but what in the fuck is he doing? He's got to hook up with that Apari guy. Or no nonsense, who's being his demo account's got slippage. It's a fucking problem. So what else we got here? Ooh, the buyers came in hard on this thing. $51. Nice scalp. Anybody that bought crude oil in this window, dollar's going to hell. Big buy-in stocks on that pullback, man. Here comes the stock market. We're going to finally try to make a new record high in the Dow Jones. We haven't done it yet. It's kind of rigged because the index keeps changing the elements. You know, they got like, it used to actually be industrial stuff, but now it's like software. That thing's itching for a pop. I bet the leader's going to be the German stock market coming out of this thing. Bitcoin sellers came in off that upper ledge. Okay, I gotta get this fucking, let's see, a German 30. Yeah, German 30's itching to break this trend line. It's gonna be the lagger, but they gotta get their stock market going here, people. Fucking Germans. I mean, they're fucking engineers. Mexican tariffs gonna help that fundamentally, right? Has Tesla found a bottom yet? Finally. Oof. Will they stop blowing up cars? Look at this beautiful entry window. Who couldn't see that? Jeez, I fucking marked that off months ago. Painfully obvious shit. Even Exxon's coming back to life. Oh boy. Buyers are coming back into Bitcoin. It's going to be something else. For the moment, we're caught in a box here. Silver's trying to come back to life. So the no-nonsense Forex guy did an Ikemushu thing, and I put in the comments, because he got a signal on the weekly to go short on Ikemushu. Because it was below the cloud. It was okay to short. You're allowed to sell it. And I said, please don't anybody short this thing here. Don't fight. He, after 30 minutes of Ikemushu training, he's like, you're good to go. You can go trade it now. Go forth and trade. Yeah, let's sell this, right? It's going down, can't you see? Okay, let me know how that trade works out for you. Things got some work to do on the upside, huh? It's going to have a problem here. But right here with the moment of truth, people, structurally speaking. Dollar Swiss looks ready to keep crumbling. But no, it's in the same situation dollar CAD is. Scalper's window. Euro Swiss broke the trend line. Looks like Euro Swiss is climbing out of the hole. Got to get above this monster structure pivot. Woof. Australia, New Zealand. Bye-bye. I think this thing's going to go keep tanking like a whore. I'd be buying it down here, though, for the bounce. I guess this is the hard structure supports. Okay, what else we got here? Poor gold's stuck in a trap, a dysfunctional relationship in a range. Not good. People are going to sell like crazy if it gets up here. It's a fucking 3-year high. I'll trap every goober. It's breaking out. It's going up. Yeah. How to torture a gold trader? Well, they manipulate this thing to drive people crazy. You don't even understand, man. Do you know what bankers do? You ever heard of the Bilderbergers Trilateral Commission? They're controlling that. Ain't nobody making no money. It ain't tanking, ain't going up. I would love to see the commercials on TV during this. I think this is when the guy from, God, what was it called? soap opera guy was offering gold here. William Defoe. No. What's his name? Knots Landing. Knots Landing guy. Plus, don't forget this floor. Who ever going to get to here? Yeah, everybody's cashing out here at 1,500. Trust me. You need hyperinflation to overcome that. Here's your bull argument. Can't you see there's a wedge there? Here's the very bullish argument. This is the beginning of a new channel that's going to carry us into the abyss. Okay. That's possible. Dollars, it looks just like Dowcad. Big buy window here. Somebody gobbled up something off of this and it's already scalped out. Deep discount window. 10 pips. Deep discount. There you go. Anyways. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.